All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. There we go. Okay, perfect. I got some eyes on me. This is good. Good morning. Happy Sunday. All right, we've got Jenny here, Lena, Pam, Lynn. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Step Up Design. I'm pretty excited about today. I did a lot of quite a few samples using some amazing masks that we have in the mini catalog that are called Abundant Beauty Decorative Masks. And you guys, I think, are going to be so impressed on what this actually looks like when you create these beautiful flowers using these masks. So I am so excited to show you that. And yeah, we're gonna get creative with some fun colors today. So let's see here, we've got Sarah, Lisa, good morning, Linda from New Brunswick. Let me know where you guys are joining me from. This is amazing. Lots of you hopping on this morning to check this out. So my name is Sue Phillip. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Victoria, BC. And you can find me live Thursday mornings at 6:30 a.m., Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock, and every once in a while I chuck in a few extra lives as well, just when the moment strikes me and I just want to share what I'm creating. So you want to make sure that you have those notifications on and you can check things out when I go live or watch the replays, either one. For today, we are going to be focusing on what I think is like a hidden gem in the new mini catalog. So, you know, we've got our stamps, we've got our punches and our dies, which are always amazing. But I've been focusing on a few different techniques this month, and you can check all those out in my feed, or I post them on YouTube as well. But I've been focusing a little bit on using masks and different things you can do with masks, as well as different ways to use our embossing folders. So I hope you guys have enjoyed those extra little classes I've been checking in there, because I've had a lot of fun showing you some really cool techniques that you can do with all of those products. So today is no different. I am going to be starting with a basic design like I always do on a Sunday morning, and then I am going to be using some cool layers and textures and different ways in which you can take that basic design and you can take it to the next level. So I hope today, my goal is always to, of course, inspire you to get in your craft room and start creating. It is becoming fall, so like today and all this week, I think we are expecting rain in Victoria. So fall is definitely hit in Victoria, BC here, and so there's a good chance you might see me pop on every once in a while, as I'm going to be spending a little more time in my craft room during the fall. So yeah, so you can tune in for that. But it's going to be 3 cards like always. But I do have some bonus samples. So I have got, because we're using gorgeous masks and I'm combining some really cool colors, some that I would have never thought to combine for a color combination, I have created some extra samples that you're going to want to see that have different color combinations for these beautiful flowers. Okay, so I think it is time to get creating. If you care to share or tag a friend in today's video, I do have a fun fold class that I am going to be giving away, and I've got a fun fold class that I'm giving away from last week. So for those of you that did a little share, I might as well hold on. I might as well do that draw now. So I've got some names in here, and we're going to see who is getting a fun fold class from last time. Okay, let's see. All right, drum roll. Are we ready? Okay, so I have got one name here, and It is Sandy. Here, I'm going to switch over so you guys can see here. Let me see. There we go. We have got Sandy. Marson is the winner from last week's draw, and you will be getting one of July's Fun Fold kits. I will send you a full instructional video, and you can have fun creating along with that video. I'm going to be giving away one of my card kits for the month of October is the next one, okay? So they are always a lot of fun, and by the time I mail this out, actually, I'm going to mail it tomorrow. I think will have a chance to join me live for that one, for that October one, by the time I pull that prize. Okay, so on to today's Step Up Design. So you will find these amazing masks on page 47 of the mini catalog. You can see that they have shown you kind of step by step how you can create these gorgeous flowers. They have turned them into kind of like more traditional colors for sunflowers. I've taken a couple different looks and colors for today, so I hope you guys will enjoy that. And I'm just going to be using the flower masks. So there is actually, let's see here, 4, 5, 6, 7 different masks. I'm going to be using these ones here to create the flowers, but I will show you up close and personal here what these masks look like. Okay, so these are the 4 that we're going to be using today. And like I said, I was amazed with how the cards turned out, and for my other samples for the different colors. Oh my goodness, we've got lots of you hopping on and sharing and tagging friends. Thank you so much. We have got some different combinations. I'm going to be using today some Moody Mauve, Blackberry Bliss, Mossy Meadow, and some Wild Wheat. So that is my color combination for these masks today. So you can check out and see what that is going to look like. And then I did some really different combinations, and I've got all those on the side. I'm going to show you them towards the end, and you can see what it looks like stepped up in different colors as well. On top of the 4 masks that create those beautiful flowers, we have also got some festive ones in here. So I think I will end up doing another little video here and there, because I want to show you what these ones will look like. I've seen some people working with them, and they're beautiful. We've got leaves for fall. We have got these beautiful snowflakes. And then we've got a cool kind of just masculine pattern here that we can use as well. So those are the other ones that are in here, and the package is like $14.50. So not only is it a hidden gem, but it is a great value for what you get. Okay, all right, let us begin. Are we ready? I think we're ready. Okay, I'm going to stretch out a little bit, scoot over a little bit so you can see everything that I'm going to be doing. I have got a couple blending brushes here. I've got one for my purples, one for my greens, and one for the wild wheat. So we are going to give you some tips here on how to work these masks. Now, they are quite a large size. Oh, I'm in centimeters for this side. Let me just see. You know what? You guys will laugh. It'll give you kind of a slight hint of what colors I've tried, because literally I was working with a whole lot of colors here last night, and I did just a little flip. Oh my goodness, I couldn't stop. I was probably going at this for a good hour and a half. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-inch masks. Okay, I did not want to have to start with a 6x6 piece of white paper and then cut it down. I mean, you can, if that is, you find that the easiest, but the way that these work is you have got 4 different masks that you're going to be working through. And I must say, they have set this up so it's pretty foolproof. Pretty foolproof. I'll say pretty foolproof. They have got numbers on them, and you can see up in the corner here, we've got a 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it's got this little notch. Okay, so those are all ways in which you can line up these masks so that you don't end up having blurred vision on your end result or any issues with them. Okay, so my tip for using these masks and using a smaller piece of paper is definitely the grid paper. Okay, so I wanted to be able to get 4 of these images off of one sheet rather than cutting a chunk of 6x6 to use with the mask. Okay, like I said, you could do that. You could cut it. It would be a perfect size, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it. But I like to get crafty, right? Literally. So I'm going to draw a line here so you guys can see my focal point and where I'm working from. I'm going to use my scrap here. Okay, so I'm going to draw just a line in this direction. Okay, in this direction. So I'm using this line here and this one across, and that is where I'm going to be placing my paper. Okay, so I'm going to keep my paper so that it stays in that position. All right, you guys see this okay? I just want to focus in so you can really check this out. And I want to get rid of, let me see, there we go. That's a bit brighter. That's much better. Okay, then I'm going to take my first mask and I am going to have a look and see where I want to balance it. Okay, I want it to be somewhat in the middle, of course, which just happens to work that you can see a half an inch over, which is right here. So this is my little square, right? This is my ½ inch over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this mark right here. I'm putting ink on here for now. Can you see that? So this little groove, I'm going to line that up so that that groove is in that line, lined up with that ½ inch. And then I'm going to have this flush with the top. Okay? Follow that? Hope you follow that. So it just makes it so that, like I said, you could do a 6x6 piece of paper to start, but I don't like to waste my cardstock, and I want to get 6 of these out of one sheet. Okay, so now we're going to start the stencil. This is the fun part. If you have a steady hand and can hold it down okay, you can leave it as is. If you feel like you need to tape, add some washi tape or some tape to your stencil to keep it in place, you can just add a little piece of tape there, and you can do that with each and every stencil. I'm going to use just my hand to hold it. I'm doing it. Okay. So I've got lined up, my paper's in the right position. Check, check. You want to check all these things. Looking good. Okay, we're ready to roll. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to take my blending brush. We've got little tiny ones, which might be a little bit easier to use. I just happen to have already colors that I use on these big ones. So I'm just going to, instead of mucking up a little tiny one, I'm going to go for it with my larger blending brush. And I'm starting with the Moody Mauve. Okay, what size cardstock? That's a great question. So this is just a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock I've got here. So it's just a half sheet. And I'm going to show you how I can get tricky, and I can get 2 out of here. Okay, so I'm going to start here, and I always like to dab a little bit and rub it on my mat. That's why my mat was so colorful on the other side. And I like to make sure that I am going heavy-handed. okay? Or sorry, not heavy-handed, light-handed, very light, okay? So I'm going to start in the inside of this, and I'm going to start doing a nice light circle. And again, I'm going nice and light, not pressing too hard, because you can always add more ink, but you can't take it away, right? Now you may have noticed that I am circling in one direction and then I am circling in the other direction. And there's a reason for that. For these masks, if I were to just go in one direction, the bristles of the brush are going to kind of catch the mask as we go along, because that's they're putting color in there, and you would have more color that connects on one side of the petal, okay, than the other. So that's why I kind of go back and forth a little bit, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little circle. Circle to the left, circle to the right. So see, you guys are going to be singing this as you use your mask now. You're going to circle to the left, circle to the right. Okay, I like to get in your head there. Okay, now I'm going to take this off. And there we have got our first layer of color. Now, the reason why I kept this as one piece is because now what I can do is I can turn it down to the other end, line it up, right? And we can do another one while we're here, right? And that way you have got 2 of these cards. You can make 2 at a time. So this is what I would recommend doing, is keep it in one sheet, and you're getting a little 2 for 1, right? Circle to the left, circle to the right, back and forth, nice light hand, okay? Looking good so far. Now I'm gonna go and I am going to take my little Blackberry Bliss, which is my darker color. Again, I'm very gentle with the touch here, but holding it down. I don't want to bump it. This is why you can, if you want, you can tape it. Okay. I've got my Blackberry Bliss. It's a darker color, so I just want to just tap it and give it a little blend. And I'm going to go a little to the left, a little to the right. And I'm just going on the inside to make those centers of the flower a little darker. Okay, you guys are like that. Yeah, I'm glad you like the tip about getting two sets of flowers out of one sheet. And like I said, this is, you cut your page like this. It takes a minute to set this up and mark it. Look at that. Look at our light and our dark. So beautiful. Now I can just turn it around and we can quickly do this one. Just like so. Lining up my notch. Lining up my page, and then you can also, I mean, you can see the stencil too if you need to shift it, because you've already got a color laid down. Okay, then we're going to go a little darker just around these insides. I'm going to go even a little darker on this one so you can see. And the beauty of the stencil is, much like other masking, I mean, it's all in how much pressure you put. I'm going a little more pressure with the darker color, and I'm keeping it in the center because I want that to go from dark to light. Ready? Look at that. So you can see that one's a little bit darker, right? Okay, but now we're going to be able to get out of one sheet 4 sets of these. So this mask is done. I did do a quick little clip, and I might post it just as a reel, but basically to clean these, you just run them underwater. It comes off so quick, and then you just let them dry. Okay, so there we go. We've got mask number 1 is done. We are moving on to mask number 2, which is our leaves. Okay, so again, we're going to make sure we're lined up on the grid paper. Grid paper, so key to this. Okay, and then my 2 is in the upper corner, and someone's making a smoothie. They'll be done in a minute. So sorry. There we go. Okay, I'm going to bring in Mossy Meadow. Okay, and I have got my green brush. Now, I do get asked if I have a brush for every single color, and I don't. I do not have like, 40 different, or 40, what have we got now? 50 really with our in colors. I don't have 50 different blending brushes. These are actually quite easy to clean. Again, you can just rinse them off a little bit. You can rub, I tend to just rub them on my mat, and I don't clean them that often. I have got one for greens, one for purples, one for yellows, depending on the greens now, because we have some much brighter greens, some deeper greens. I do tend to have 2 green brushes, but I don't have one for every single shade that we've got. Okay, now I have done a little tiny, just base light tone of the green. I want to show you how you can use that same color, and then you can just go a little bit heavier handed, and I'm going a little bit heavier handed on this first portion of the petal, and then down the center slightly. Okay, so I'm leaving the tips a little bit lighter because light is going to catch those, but deeper towards the flowers, you're going to have it look a little bit darker, right? So I'm going a little bit darker and keeping the edges light. All right, look at that. Love it. Okay, we're going to do a flip, and we're going to line it up again. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go a little bit quicker for these ones. Then we'll get on to the next mask. And so the nice thing is that when you're creating, as you're going to see in my other samples, and I'm so excited to show you all the other colors. It's really hard for me not to show you those right away, but you're going to have to wait. But I use some really different colors, and like I'm not doing yet traditional yellow. I'm using these mauve colors, and it really does look beautiful any color combo that you use. So that's the fun thing is, we love to get creative, right? And don't get locked in that, okay, these are sunflowers, so I have to use a certain color. You don't. You don't at all. You can have some fun, okay? So I'm going to bring in Wild Wheat, and I've got a little brush for yellow. I'm going to line her up. There we go, looking good. Lined up, check, check. And we're going to go light-handed with the Wild Wheat. Okay, quite light-handed, just like that. And then do a little flip. Look at how beautiful that looks. Now, how many of you weren't sure about this Wild Wheat color when it first came out? When I first saw the in colors, I thought to myself, oof, not so sure about that color. It's kind of a really weird yellowy brown, but it is growing on me, and I am finding I'm using it more and more, and I'm even using it as, you guys are going to see, as a layer. Not your favorite, I know, wasn't mine either, but depending on what colors you put with it, it really is surprising. Look at that. Amazing. Okay, now we've got number 4, so we are down to the last one. Now I know we are doing 3 different cards today. I have pre-done some masks already, so I've done a third one so that we can get to all of our stepped up designs and check them out. Okay, so I'm going darker for the detail. Look at that. Like, look at that. This is just a little ink and a brush and some masks. Oh, I tell you, I was so excited. You can see why I wanted to. After I decided this was the color I was going to show you as I made it, I just started going up to my ink pads, and I started grabbing all sorts of different colors and just going for it. And, you know, pick your favorite colors. The other color combinations are just colors that I love to create together with. I did one that's a little more traditional with a slightly untraditional colored leaf, you'll see. But yeah, it's a fun project. Okay, so there is 2 sets of flowers, and I'm not going to call them sunflowers. We're just going to call them flowers because you don't want to restrict your colors you're going to use, right? And I'm going to cut this down, and we are going to, now we've created this with just our ink. You know, this is a nice, easy project. You don't need a whole lot of tools. The stencils are super reasonable at $14.50. Plus, we haven't even touched the other 3 stencils yet, right? And you know, you've got ink pads. These brushes are fairly reasonable. I think they're like $16 for a pack of 3. But if you've got sponges, you can use sponges. Yeah, you can still use sponges if you have them. You can use your daubers as well with these. So you don't have to have these brushes. You can use what you've got. All right, so we're going to cut this down to 3.5 by 5. So this is kind of the hardest part, is actually cutting part of this image away. I'm going to cut it right down the center. Okay, and I've got, there we've got our 2 masks, and they are 4.25 by 5.5. So that is a full A2 card front. So if you want to just leave it like that, you can definitely do that. I'm going to, oh, I'm glad you guys, you want to see it, you want to try it using blues. I just might have a sample. You guys will have to wait. Okay, I'm going to cut this down, and I'm going to cut this to 5 inches this direction. Okay, so let me just move this up here, there, and I'm going to cut it right there. So that's 5 inches. So I'm just trimming this down a little bit, and I'm going to go 3.5. So I'm going to focus more on the flowers than the petals. And I want to, there's my 3.5. So you can see how much I'm going to cut off, but I don't want to cut it all off of one side. So I am going to go in, and you'll see me kind of shimmy it down a little bit, my first little bit there, and then I'm going to see where 3.5 sits, and that actually looks pretty good. So we're going to go like that. Okay, so there is our piece all cut down. Okay, I might try a totally different look with this one, seeming I've already got some made, and post that just for another example for you. Okay, let's just see here. I've seen it in blues, gonna try blues. Yeah, let me know what colors that you would try, and I'd be interesting to see if we are like-minded, because I've got other samples, and who knows, I may have already used some of those colors. So okay, so for our basic design here, we have got just a white piece of cardstock. I have pulled in, we've got designer series papers in color families, so you can get the in colors, you can get a package of regals, brights, subtles, and they have different designs on them. They've got hearts, they've got this little dashing, and then they've also got let's see here. Oh, I don't want to show you the other cards yet. I don't want to share that yet, but they do have stripes on one and kind of larger polka dots on the other, and you might see some of those in a bit. So I'm gonna use, this is a piece that is the same height, so it's 5.5, and I did it by 3 inches because I wanted a block of this color, which is the Moody Mauve, because I wanted to highlight this purple. So you're going to see how beautiful this is all going to come together. Okay, so we're just going to add a little bit of pattern paper, just like that. Okay, and then we are going to take, again, our wild wheat, and this is just a 1/4 of an inch wider, not even a 1/4 of an inch. I think it is an 1/8 of an inch wider height and length. And so I just want to have a little bit of framework so that it pulls in the center of those flowers. Again, this is that wild wheat. Okay, there we go. So that is framed in beautifully, and we're gonna pop it on our card. I'm going to use a little tiny bit of, let's see here. I'm gonna pull in just some scraps that I had, and I could pull in a little bit of this again, but I think because I've already got a lot of it, I was looking at the scraps that I had from my past lives, the last little bit, and I did have a little bit of, this is the All About Fall. You can see the colors on the back, but this is actually Mossy Meadow, and it has a bit of copper in it. So I'm gonna put that down just as a piece on here, and then I'm gonna just put a greeting. So nice and easy, and a little bit of bling, of course. So I'm gonna put this just across. Okay, just a little bit across. We're going to turn it over and trim it. And then I have leftovers for my stepped up designs, which is great. And I have already got a little greeting here. And this is in that beautiful wild wheat. I'm calling it beautiful now because it's growing on me, and it's going to be a good color for fall. And I'm just going to pop this over top. Okay, now I do have the option. Let's see, I've got a little bit of twine, but I think for this one, we're going to keep it fairly simple. So I'm going to bring in the different colored twines and have some fun with some twines and different embellishments in the next card when we step it up a little. But for now, we're just going to add, we don't want to add too much, because again, we're keeping it fairly simple. And I'm just going to layer that so I can still see a little bit, let's get it straight, a little bit of that mossy there to bring out the leaves. And we're going to pop it on, and we're going to add some embellishments. Okay. As a frame, wild wheat gives, the impression of, it does give that impression of a little bit of gold, right? And I think that's the thing, is depending on the colors that you use it with, sometimes it looks more golden, sometimes it looks kind of more like a weird browny yellow color, right? But with the right color combination, it works. And if you're not quite sure what colors to go with, sometimes you can also get a little inspiration from some of our pattern papers. So can anyone tell me what set of pattern papers there is that has the Moody Mauve and the Wild Wheat? Because that was my inspiration for this card. I should have actually grabbed the papers. Someone might know that one. Let's see here. I'm going to put one of this here, and I'm going to put one right here. The daisies. You got it, Lynn. You know the piece I'm talking about, right? That is where I got this color inspiration from. Okay, so there is our first design. So this is the simple design. Okay. And that mask is beautiful, right? Okay, now I have already gone ahead, and because I wanted extra time to be able to show you different colored samples, so I am going to bring in a mask that is done. Okay, so here's one. It's already cut and ready to go. And again, one of my favorite things, for those that watch me, you might think, I know what you're going to do next. Let's see if you guys can guess these things. Those that have watched, what am I going to do next? Well, let's see. It involves a machine and some textures. So I am going to now take this simple mask that we've created that is gorgeous, and I'm going to add a little texture to it. I've got 3 different ones, and we'll use one for this one, and we're stepping up with a different one. I'm trying to see what I've got on my samples, my other samples, so I can use something different. I see that one, I see that one. Okay, I've used all 3. Let's see, I'm gonna go for maybe the distressed tile, and we're gonna see what this looks like. So I'm gonna pop it in there, and I'll bring in the machine. So this is gonna be quite noisy. This is gonna be quite an easy step up. And I mean, remember, you now know how to make 2 sets of your stenciled flowers. As you're making one, flip your page and make another, and you can run one through the texture because we've got 2 ready to go, right? So give that a try. And there is a beautiful texture over top of our stencil. Isn't that pretty? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a different color. So I am switching out the card base. Okay, I've still got my wild wheat, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply this to the wild wheat. Oh, I am so glad you guys are enjoying this. Like I said, oh, I can't wait to show you a few others. We'll get there. Okay, so we have got our texture. So the texture itself steps this card up for sure. You can see how that's doing that. Now I'm going to, because I've added the texture, I'm going to just take, because I don't have this pattern in the backdrop because I've got this. I've changed the color out. Now I'm going to add a little bit of this beautiful color across my card. So I'm going to decorate up this panel here, and you're going to see more of the texture. The flowers are kind of fading into the background a little bit because you've got that texture, but they're still going to be there, and you are decorating out the rest of the card in a way that's going to make some colors pop again in a second. You'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull in that little strip of green. Okay, and we're going to just add a little bit. I love using up all these little bits, and seeing this color of scrap on the corner of my desk still, I tell ya, I got pretty excited. Okay, so there is a little bit of color there. Now I'm going to pull in some twine next. So I'm going to bring in, I've got different colors. We could bring in the actual Moody Mauve. Let's have a look, because everything's a process, right? You got to see balance. We could do the Moody Mauve, which is quite pretty. We could pull in a little bit of the wild wheat, and let me see, I'm going to put a greeting on it. I have both here, so I could go, I think I'm going to go with the wild wheat twine, and I'm going to go with the wild wheat little just for you. So I'm going to lighten this up a little bit though, because these are, I mean, they are a little bit heavier. They're the jute twine, okay? And you may have seen me do this before, but I'm going to separate the actual fibers a little bit because there is a couple fibers in here, and I want to make it just a little bit more delicate. I could combine the 2 twines. Huh. Love all the suggestions. What color is the darker color paper you're using? This darker color is the Moody Mauve, or mauve, or whichever way you pronounce it. Okay, so I am winding this the opposite direction, and I'm going to start pulling this out a little bit, and I'm going to wrap it around that card. So again, already you're going to have a little interest because it's going to have a little bit of fray to it, which is perfect for our flowers and a country feel. Let's see. Come on. Come on. There we go. Takes a while. Tell you, and this Band-Aid is not helping me with my fingers. There we go. Okay. Got it. All right. So we're separating out the fibers a little bit. And I'm going to maybe trim it a little bit shorter here in a sec, which might help because this is quite a long piece I started with. Let's trim it a little bit. Let's see. I want at least a couple wraps. That's what I'm going for. One, two. Yeah, I'm going to want most of it. Let's see. Just might take me a little bit. It's okay. There we go. And just untwine it a bit more. It's going against you because it wants, there we go, that's what I need. It wants to stay together, right? But, okay. So if you don't have as long a piece, it doesn't take as long. And if you have a finger that isn't covered in a Band-Aid, it probably doesn't take as long. Let's see. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this. So see how delicate that is now, and it's got a beautiful little curve to it from the wrapping. And I'm just going to start here, and I'm going to wrap it around 1, 2, and then I'm going to tie it. Okay. So worth the time to unwrap it because look at how delicate and pretty this looks. All right, so I'm going to just trim that, and I'm going to tuck this down so that it hangs down and everybody's happy like that. Pretty. So see how we have got just that fine little bit of yellow there, so it's not overpowering. And then I'm going to add this little greeting right up next to it, and it can kind of tuck underneath there like that. Now if I wanted to add a little bit more of that jute twine, I could always just wrap and tie another little piece around that one little section, but I want it to stay fairly delicate looking, and I'm going to put this just over top like so. Okay, now I'm going to add some dimension, and we're going to add our embellishments. And we're going to finish this one off. Now, someone did mention something about, does someone bite your finger at work? No. Oh my goodness. No. Oh, that's so funny though. I have had my finger. For those of you who do not know, I do work in a pediatric dental office, and I may have had my finger bitten a couple times, ever so lightly. But no, that is not what happened. I actually, it's one of those kitchen things, but I want you to know that, fingernails are not just to look pretty and to paint and all that sort of stuff. They actually protect your fingers, right? And I found that out. I'm going to use yellow here instead of the Moody Mauve. I'm going to use the yellow on this one. That then I was cutting something, and basically it ended up hitting, the knife ended up hitting just my nail, not my actual finger. So it just went through my nail. So that's why I still have one blue fingernail here, right? And I've kept a Band-Aid on there because there's a little cut in my nail, and I don't want to trim it yet until it grows out. So that's why you're going to see this for a little while yet. But it's all good. Doesn't hurt or anything. All right, so there is our second card, and look at how beautiful that one is. Okay, we brought in the Moody Mauve again. We've got the green, and we've got the same colors. We have just switched out the color of embellishment. I did not glue it, but I'm going to go see if someone can actually do that, and then I can get rid of this Band-Aid. That's a good thought. Okay. All right, so there's our two. I want to get to the third one. And the third one required a little bit more. Remember, we step things up as we go. So I have got a card base again of our Moody Mauve. Okay, I'm going to put these right here so you can see where we're going. And for some of you, you may like the look of simple or just a little texture, but I wanted to, of course, take it to the next step and let you guys see what it would look like if we did a little die cutting. So I took my one sheet that has the flowers and I took a couple die cuts. Now let me see. These are the deckled rectangles and I decided to cut around the edge and then cut out a section of the actual flower. Okay, so I went ahead and I did that and I cut these in two. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple different things with them. I'm going to mask them in our wild wheat. So I just took, because it is a die, I ended up after cutting it, I just stuck my flowers onto a piece of wild wheat and I just trimmed it down so that there was just a slight border. I couldn't tell you what this exact measurement is, but I just cut it down so that there was a little bit of a border there. Okay, I didn't want too much, just a hint of that wild wheat. Okay, and I'm going to glue this onto here. There we go. All right, so that is step one. Okay, now what I'm going to do, and I notice now that I cut that a little bit crooked, didn't I, my flower out? It's okay, I can work with it. I'm now going to take this piece and I'm going to texture this piece. So we are going to go back to our textures and I think I'm going to do a slightly different one. I'm going to do this exposed brick. I think might be beautiful for this one. And I'm going to just run this through this centerpiece because we're going to pop this up and I'm going to run it through the texture. So I'll just quickly do that. Okay. All right, so here is our texture. So you can see that's got a little bit of texture on there. Isn't that pretty? Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to just mat it in another little piece of wild wheat. Okay. Da, da, da. Just like that. Okay, so we've got a few pieces here because now what we're doing is we are going to combine these, right? So we're sticking with simple. We cut it out though, and we added some die cuts around the edges because I love that deckled edge. I almost did it in the circles because we have the new deckled circles, but I thought with the sunflowers being a circular color, or in this case, we're just calling them flowers, right? I didn't want to do too circular, so I thought this would work. Now I'm going to pull in a little bit of prettiness on the back here first. So I'm going to use a little bit of this and we're going to decorate up our layers slightly differently. Okay, so we're going to go like that. Love it. We still have a little bit of green in here, so we're going to bring in that green look again. So again, we're bringing in elements of the past cards. We're just switching up the center a little bit, right? Okay. Then we have got, look at this. It's going to look so good. Now we're going to use a little bit of twine, and because I would switch out the color of the twine, but you know, we're going to use this one because it's already half unraveled here, and I'm not going to need as much because we have got we've got a smaller little section. So I'm gonna do a little bow maybe over here on this side, and I'm gonna wrap this up a little bit. So I want to leave enough for a bow, and I'm gonna wrap it. And I just want a little bit of country twine in there. And let's see if I've even got enough here to tie a bow. It's the Band-Aid's gonna get in the way again. Let's see here. No, yeah, I'm just gonna do a knot for now because it could take me a while. Now, do you remember, what I really should be doing is, I do recall when I did a lot of in-person classes, tying a lot of bows for people. Let's see if I've got any that are watching right now. Huh, there's a few of you. I tied some bows. What I need is I need for you guys to come over, and I'll be like, payback. I need you to tie my bows right now so that it doesn't catch. What do we think? No, I enjoy, some people do not like to tie bows, but I do like to tie bows, just not with this little bit here. Done. There we go. Amber. Oh, oh, you see? I need you ladies here. You can have my back this time. Okay, so with this piece, it is now like a piece of puzzle, right? So what we can do now is see how we've got the texture on this piece of the flower, which is beautiful. And we're going to line it up so that it is going to fit back into the puzzle, okay? Oh, you guys are awesome. Are you going to pop it up? I am going to pop it up. Okay. So I'm lining up the centers. I look at the centers and the petals, and I think I'm looking pretty good. And see, I'm going to tweak it slightly so now it is straight. You know how I cut it out a little crooked? I told you I was going to work a little magic there and straighten it out. That's better. Looks a little more straight now. Okay, so you can see how that's popped out. Now I'm just going to do something simple because we've done so much beautiful layering there that I want to keep it fairly simple. So I'm going to pull in, I think, Blackberry Bliss. And we are going to, because it's a nice bright color, and I'm just going to stamp a little just for you. Just like that. Perfect. Okay, how are we doing for time? Pretty good. Not quite an hour yet. I am going to show you the other samples here in a second. You can see the different colors, and you can let me know what color you like the best. Can we wear our PJs? Yeah. I wore my PJs yesterday for, well, half PJs. Yesterday we had a kind of like nationwide, I guess it is. There is 17 of us Silver Sisters who all got together and decided to do some virtual events for our teams to kind of inspire them and give them lots of projects. And yeah, it was so fun. The projects were amazing. I'm going to share the gift card holder that I created for that event. I will share that at some point this week, and it's super easy, but it was just a great day. And you know what, it's like I love to just feed off their energy, and maybe that's why I ended up then later on in the day making 3 versions of this card rather than just going, normally you might see one, but then I had some extra inspiration yesterday and I ended up making different colors. So you can thank my sisters for that, my Silver Sisters. Okay, let's have a look. There we go. So there is the finished card all stepped up. Okay, with the deckled edges, the texture, and a little pop-out center. This is where we started. This is where we ended up. And you know what? This has the pop-up, right? But this one here has just all the texture. So, you know, it really does depend on your style. And I'm sure you have some people that, oh, they like a simple card, or this person loves texture. So I'm sure you will find the perfect version for whoever you're giving your cards out to. Okay, so who wants to see the other colors? Anybody? Before I do that, I think I want to give something away. Is that a good idea? I am. I'm going to give away. Let me just see what I've got. I'm going to give away, before you see those other colors, I'm going to give something away here. Let me see. I have got a package of embellishments. This is going to go out to, now we've got some interest here, everybody. So this is going to go out to, I'm going to go with what I see on my feed here, and it is going to go to the 10th comment is going to get this beautiful package of tinsel gems that I'm going to put embellishments on my other cards here in a second. So hang on, you're not going to want to miss it, because I'm going to actually, I realized I didn't put the embellishments to finish off the other color combinations. So you're going to see those finished off in a second. But first I want to give this away, and I'm going to go starting now. I need 10 comments. Let's see. We got to start it off to finish it. So let's see here. Sonia, 1. Love this. This is so fun for me to just sit back. Monica, 2. Then they start flying really quick. Sandra, 3. Kathy, 4. 5. Pat. Amber, 6. Alexia, 7. 8. 9. 10. Jan Rodman, congratulations. You are the winner of this round's little prize. So these will be going out. In fact, I do believe I have a kit I'm mailing out to you. So I will just pop them into your package. So congratulations. That is for Jan Rodman. Okay. Awesome. Congratulations, Jan. Love doing that. Okay. All right. So let's put these aside. Let's finish off our other colors. Are you ready? So do you remember what these ones were? These were the Moody Mauve, Blackberry Bliss, Mossy Meadow, and Wild Wheat. Okay. So this is all the same folder. All right. So I've just got 2. This one here is, I guess, a little bit more traditional, sunflower looking. We have got pumpkin pie, crushed curry, little non-traditional for my leaves. I went pretty peacock, and then pecan pie. Are you ready? Here they are. So here is this one, and I did a little texture. Isn't that pretty? So this would be your more traditional sunflower look, but I had to use the pretty peacock because it is one of my favorite colors. And I wanted to add, I have to add my bling still. So we still need a bit of sparkle. Okay, so there is the pretty peacock, and I've got another stepped up version as well. So let's bring that one in. And here is our third version, our third step up card, but in that color. So let's see how the right color of embellishments also makes a difference. So let's go 1, let's go 2. Look at how adding a little splash of color really brings this alive. And we're going to go 1, 2. Because these are sequins, I'm going 5. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, I want to do 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do 1 up here. Okay, so there is our pretty peacock, crushed curry, pumpkin pie, pecan. So crushed curry and a little pumpkin pie for the flowers, pecan pie. We got a couple pies here. Well, it's Thanksgiving coming up, right? Pumpkin pie, pecan pie. That seemed like the right thing. And now I'm going to add just a little bit here of 1, 2, and 3, like that, onto this one. And there is a little bit of sparkle. Okay, so there is that color combination. All right, want to see another one? This one, let's I had some requests, or some people figured they would do blue, right? So let's show you blue, shall we? Blue, and ready for the next one? Here we go. We have got a Your Afternoon, which is a bright, bright blue, lemon lolly, lemon lime twist, and I chucked in some espresso. Okay, so let's see. We have got, here is the same as this one. Okay, so there is your blues and your greens. We need to add our embellishments to this one. So I think I'm going to pull in the same little gems here that Jan just won. These are really, really cute, and they add some sparkle. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue on this one. 1, 2, and a little one, maybe 1, 2, and 1 down here. Okay, so there is our blue. So I wouldn't call these sunflowers anymore, right? They're just beautiful flowers. All right, so there's that one. And then here is our texture. This is again that exposed brick. And I love the espresso with these blues and greens. So a nice bright, we brought in some lemon lime twist ribbon here. And so for this one, I'm going lemon lime twist embellishments. So even just switching up the color of the embellishments also does quite a bit as well. So just highlights different colors in there, okay? Now let's have a look. I'm going to pull one in. So those are the color combinations. Let me know what you think is your favorite. Let's see here. Gems are always great. Yes, please. Beautiful, lovely. Oh, I'm glad you guys love them. And what is your favorite color? Love the blue flowers I'm getting. Love the texture. So we're going to do a little comparison. All right, so there's our first ones. Here's these ones, and here is these ones in between. Oh my goodness. Color combinations, right? Love the mauve. Blue then purple. Blues, blues. Blues. I had, you know how I love blues and greens. All 3 are great. Aww. Okay, so have you not fallen in love with those folders yet? Those masks? Amazing, right? Amazing deal. And look at the cool results you can get using other things, textures you have in your room, your inks, your embossing, or your blending brushes, sponges, daubers, whatever you got to blend that color. And I mean, the options are endless. How many colors of inks do you have? Just mix them up and see what happens, right? The pretty peacock, I know, it really makes it pop. I agree. Okay, so if you wanted to share, again, reminder, share, always love that. Tag a friend. Your name will go into for this fun fold. And I will draw this one next Sunday, and someone will get to join me for my October Fun Fold. Another way you can get these is if you happen to place an order of $50 or more using the host code, then you automatically get one of these kits. So if you use the code, you'll find a little link that I've got that has my registration for my November Christmas club. These are them here. You can take a quick look. I don't know, I almost don't want to cover up all these sunflowers, but I'm going to show you the cards for my November card club. Registration is still open right now for those who want to join this. Oh my goodness, that's a fabulous idea. Christmas poinsettias. I never thought of that. Oh, I'm going to have to get blending again. Could you imagine these in red? It would definitely look like a poinsettia with a bright yellow, deep yellow inside. We're gonna have to try that. I have to try that. Great idea, Pat. Okay, so talking about Christmas, this is your lineup for your November card club. The theme is exact same design, 2 different looks. That is one card. This is another card. This is another design. And this is another design. Get it right way up. Okay, so it does feature the Merriest Trees bundle. I will be running the textures for you, and I will be cutting out some of the trees, but not all of them, because you guys are going to end up with a half bolt of this fabulous ribbon. You're going to end up with a package of festive pearls. You get $25 worth of goodies in these kits that I do every month. And then you get 12 of the Joy of Christmas papers, and you get a sampling, so you get all 6 of these fabulous brightly shining papers as well. Okay, so you get to make your cards in both the navy and gold version as well as the traditional. Okay, so if you want to join me, again, I've got a link for those in my link tree, Sue's Paper Creation link tree, and you can sign up registration until the 10th of October. Okay, so hopefully you'll want to join me for that. We have a good time. We can Zoom, full instructional video for those that can't make the Zoom, and it's just nice to kind of pull everybody together. Unfortunately, for those that are happen to be joining me from outside of Canada, I can only mail my kits within Canada. Same with the prizes. That's just Stampin' Up! Rules. We got to stay within our country. But you're always more than welcome to join me here and get some inspiration for the rest of your week. I am going to switch out my cameras here. Da, da, da. Am I there? Nope. Oh, there's my November card club. So that is the information there. But let me go back to me. That is what I want. I want to get rid of that. And I want to say goodbye. There we go. I'm going to pull that out of the way. I hope you guys enjoyed that with these amazing masks. Like I say, check them out. For those of you who are joining me at 1 o'clock, I am so excited. I am doing a bonus Zoom class. We'll get to actually chat, have a little visit, and create together. You are just required to have one piece of 12 by 12 pattern paper, a neutral card base, and I would have sent you out the Zoom link to join me. So I will give, for those that are watching that still want to create with me at 1 o'clock, it's just a bonus Zoom class I'm doing. And you're just using supplies out of your craft room. A 12 by 12 sheet, we all have those, as well as a card base, just kind of like a neutral one, white or vanilla. And I will talk you through the rest. But I will give you until 11 o'clock. So the next 45 minutes, if you happen to see this, you want to join in our live Zoom today, private message me so that I can send you the link to join that today at 1 o'clock, and that's Pacific Standard Time. Okay? All right. I've had a blast. We've got real inky here, had some fun, and I look forward to seeing you this afternoon, those that are joining me. If not, you'll catch me here next Thursday morning for sure, 6:30 in the morning for some quick and easy 5-minute cards. I will pop on at some point and also share with you my project of my Christmas gift card holder. Okay? All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.